Today we'll be explaining the performance expectation, which is construct an explanation based on evidence for how geoscience processes have changed Earth's surface at varying time and spatial scales. Also, we are going to explain the cross-cutting concept and the SEP and tell you how it matches our experiment today. So when we want to identify science and engineering practices, we want to look at the beginning of the performance expectation. It says construct an explanation based on evidence. Now let's take a look at all SEPs numbered 1 through 8. And we see that number 6 says constructing explanations and designing solutions. So the skill we're going to use is constructing an explanation. Now for the cross-cutting concept, this tends to be at the end of the performance expectation. The end of the section states how geoscience processes have changed Earth's surface at varying time and spatial scales. Now let's stop right there and look at our cross-cutting concept chart on the right. You can see that letter G says scale, proportionate, quantity. In our sentence, it says varying time and spatial scales. So explanation is going to focus on scale.
In science class, we do hands-on activities. Today, we will show you a hands-on activity that we did for performance expectation 2A. We will be demonstrating water weathering and water erosion. Water weathering is breaking down of rocks using water. Water erosion is the transportation of rocks by water. The pile of sand represents a mountain. The water represents rain. Here we go. You can see the water is breaking down the big mountain. This is weathering. You can also see the sand is being transported from its original place to a new location. This is called erosion. Even though this process is fast at the moment, in real life the mountain would not break down this quick. In fact, it would take many, many years, thousands and thousands of years to create this. The process of weathering and erosion is an example of uniformitarianism. Uniformitarianism is defined as how the geology of Earth's surface changes slowly in a uniform way over time. This is uniformitarianism because the process of breaking down the mountain and moving the rocks takes thousands of years to form. It is also breaking down in a uniform way. Breaking down in a uniform way means that this process is always happening. Weathering and erosion has occurred in the past, is occurring in the present, and will continue to occur in the future.
We have now fulfilled the performance expectation. How? Because we have first done the SEP, which is constructing an explanation. My partner did this throughout the demonstration and after the demonstration. He also talked about the cross-cutting concept, especially he focused on the time part by talking about how this geoscience process of erosion and weathering has happened. It continues to happen and in the future will happen. Hopefully you learned something from our demonstration and what we do in Mr. Deasu's science class.